That's the first one, 1984, I think, with 83 kind of stemming the whole thing from the Jamboree.
That was two of the best teams either school has ever had played that night. I actually sat in the stands that night. Everybody got there really early. An hour before the game, there was not a seat available anywhere in the stadium.
First game in 84, they said the biggest crowds we've had at J. Hotterbrand Stadium.
I never played football against Tallassee, so I didn't have any idea how it would feel to play against Tallassee.
I remember the 84 season and leading up to it was the first time REELTOWN was going to play Tallassee in a regular season game.
I was just so focused on the game and couldn't wait, so excited. I was just in the zone. I didn't see no friends.
My husband was on the opponent's team.
I was telling them if we just play like we've been playing, we was going to win.
We were undefeated.
We got to think about what was going on. We were 2-3. I'd have to say we were beat up a little bit.
We didn't know exactly what to have. We knew that there was a great team.
Me, I was thinking REELTOWN, we're going to win.
We didn't think we could be beat.
REELTOWN's 5-0. I could hear them now. Some of us went in there overlooking Tallassee and thinking you already won.
I don't think they respected us.
I think Tallassee went in there thinking we're going to save our season by beating REELTOWN.
And Tallassee came to play and they were ready to play.
We played in Tallassee.
I mean, it was a big build to that game.
I mean, people would come up to you. You cannot lose to REELTOWN.
Coach McCord, pre-game meal in the lunchroom, I can remember him asking, why is this game so important to y'all? Trey Taylor, another senior on that team, just saying, because I just don't like them and they don't like me. We got to win this game.
And this was the first scheduled game that was played between the two. You've got to win the first ever.
Coach Archer, who was the defensive coordinator, had us so hyped up. He said, you better not lose.
So leading up to that week, of course, coaching him done, I thought, an excellent job preparing us. We load up that night and we're going down to Tallassee. And I remember as we come around, you could see the lights from the stadium and it was lit up, so you knew you're getting close. And as we made that turn, and all of a sudden you looked and you could not believe the crowd.
The REELTOWN bus drives in and the REELTOWN folks just go crazy cheering.
As we were pulling in, of course, being young kids, you start lowering the windows because everybody wants to hear what's going on.
They finally get off the bus and they start entering the stadium. And it was just this huge, loud, continuous roar for the REELTOWN team.
When I think about the REELTOWN-Tallassee game, I think about the first game. Both stands were packed.
We could hear the REELTOWN fans coming in at like 5 in the afternoon. We could hear them hollering, go Rebels. We was like, why are they here so early?
5 o'clock, people are filing into the stadiums, and before you turn around, it's full.
The noise was so loud, you could hear the cowbells.
I didn't realize how many people were there.
I still remember that crowd to this day.
There was standing room only.
When we played them the first time in 84, Hotterbrand Stadium was packed, standing side by side going around that track.
There was probably 5,000 people there, standing room only everywhere. We knew it was something special, at that point.
I never really saw the fans. Fans don't beat you. Players beat you.
The game's fixing to start. We've jawed back and forth. Now it's time.
I remember getting dressed up under the stadium, people yelling at you, hey, we finna whoop y'all, da-da-da-da-da.
Play the national anthem, and here we go.
The theme song was Eye of the Tiger. We knew when we played that song, football players, they get pumped up when they hear that song. Teams come out, towns come out, REELTOWN come out.
I told everybody, that's the game I want. That's the one I want to come out of. I want to be the first person out of the game.
If anybody that went and watched that game, they saw that it was a dogfight. I mean, it was everybody leaving everything on the field.
I remember Earl scoring early in the game.
I do recall that Earl had a long run. We had a play called 56. Shane would lead the fullback, and it just opens up a gaping hole, and I think Earl Piner runs for 67 yards. We're running out there, everybody, holding your hands up, get the crowd into it, let's go, let's go. I really think I kind of let my team down that year. I had probably the worst game I ever played in football.
They was keying Chump real hard.
Every time I go somewhere, I see Anthony Rivers right there.
I remember Chump said, Doug, let's switch position.
Came in and handed the ball off to Douglas Thomas. Douglas went up through there. When he went up through there, I was clapping my hands because I said, he's got 3 yards.
3 or 4 Tallassee people that had him tackled, and he wouldn't go down.
And all of a sudden, bam, out the other side, Douglas comes.
And broke it down the line and almost scored from it.
It was tied up 15-15 at halftime.
Someone had sent us the old dead wreath. And I remember Coach Frank Autry, our defensive coordinator, gave us a speech. And somewhere during that speech, I remember him kicking that dead wreath across the locker room.
Yeah, I kicked that thing all over the place and they got fired up. I just grabbed the moment because I knew that they were better than what they were playing.
playing. And anybody that knows Coach Autry knows what a motivational speaker he was. And I believe everybody that had on purple and gold was ready to come out and win the second half.
The second half, I felt very comfortable about. We kind of took control in the third quarter.
I remember second half, our offensive line kind of took over the game.
Solomon and I,
We both collided.
we collided.
When I say it was a collision of epic proportion,
You could hear it across the field. And I remember everybody stopping, going, woo.
and we both went all the way almost to the fence.
We hit so hard.
Coach O'Neal picked Douglas up, and when he picked Douglas up, he fell right back out.
Coach O'Neal just rolled me over
And I can remember the coach dragging my husband off the field.
and broke the ampules. I remember, and cause it knocked me out.
We both pretty much took each other out.
And Solomon coming off and not knowing where he was.
That's one of the hardest licks that I had ever received.
And I said, that's a lick you'll never forget. You'll never forget that lick from Solomon. You and Solomon hitting each other.
I definitely remember Douglas Thomas that night. I don't know how many carries he had, but he was much of a man.
Although we lost, I showed out in front of my dime piece.
It was just a hard-fought, equal-play game.
84 game, we fell short. They beat us that year.
One thing that disappoints me about the 84 game is Coach Webster told me when the game was over, he thought that we lost to a better team. And then he said we gave it away. You know, when my coach tells me that we gave it away because we didn't play our best, that bothers me.
Sweet night.
The first one, Tallassee won 36-21. That was the very first game.
And the game itself was a really good game. Tallassee being a really good 4A school and REELTOWN a 2A, REELTOWN proved that they could play with 4A schools. They not only played with them, they won half of them.
The games that over the years came after that, overall have been pretty close. It's been a streaky series.
THS 36, RHS 21. The vehicle bridge, you could look over there and see the score.
That showed kind of the magnitude of that game.
And I probably would have did the same thing if I would have won.
And I remember seeing it every time I would go to Montgomery for years.
And it stayed there for 30 years. It stayed up there for years, and matter of fact, it may still be there for all I know.
Of course, spray paint is permanent. Unless someone went down there and painted back over it, then that score may be still down there today.
I don't know who put it up there, but I remember it.
And I really honestly, for years, didn't know who did it.
And of course, it's all rusted up and everything now. Some of the memories have rusted like that bridge has, but most of them haven't. So yeah, I definitely remember riding down there and seeing the score on the bridge.